Have you ever wondered why the harder you try to be happy, the more it seems to slip through your fingers? You read self-help books, follow inspiring social media pages, maybe even meditate or pick up new hobbies. Yet genuine happiness sometimes feels like it's drifting further away. Welcome to Paradox Stories, where we explore the hidden contradictions that shape our lives. Today's paradox: the more you chase happiness directly, the less you feel it. Stay tuned, because by the end of this episode, you'll see why trying too hard to be happy can leave us emptier. And more importantly, how to approach happiness in a way that actually works. Let's set the stage with a quick scenario. Imagine saving for months to book your dream vacation. Turquoise waters, palm trees swaying, perfect sunrise yoga sessions. The moment you arrive, though, something feels off. Sure, the beach is beautiful, but your mind's already restless, scanning for the next thrill. You tell yourself, I should be happy right now. Why aren't I as happy as I expected? In that very moment, you're experiencing a strange but common phenomenon. The pursuit of happiness can become a trap. If you've ever felt that frustration, doing everything right, and still missing that elusive sense of fulfillment, stick around. We're about to dive deep into why it happens, and more importantly, what you can do about it. So what is this paradox all about? Psychologists often call it the hedonic treadmill, or refer to it as the happiness paradox. The more we make happiness a direct goal, the less likely we are to achieve it. Over the last few decades, society's become obsessed with positive thinking, self-improvement, and the relentless pursuit of personal satisfaction. And yet, study after study shows that we're not necessarily happier. In fact, rates of anxiety and depression are on the rise. It seems counterintuitive, right? You'd think focusing on happiness would, well, make you happier. But in reality, constantly monitoring how happy you are can turn into a form of self-pressure. And we all know how pressure, even when self-imposed, can make us uneasy or even miserable. That's the essence of this paradox. The direct chase leads to the very opposite of what we want. To illustrate, let's explore the story of Leo, a fictional character, but one who represents a very real struggle. Leo is in his early 30s, working a steady mid-level management job. He's comfortable, but he feels this persistent itch, this lingering dissatisfaction. All around him, social media and influencers scream, "Live your best life now. If you're not actively chasing your bliss, you're wasting time." So Leo decides it's time to optimize his life for maximum happiness. In the next few months, Leo tries everything. He starts meditating twice a day because that's what he reads happy people do. He invests in a fancy juicer and commits to a plant-based diet, sure that a clean body will lead to a joyful mind. He even picks up the 5 a.m. productivity routine, journaling, checking off daily goals, repeating affirmations like, "I am happy, I am fulfilled." He shells out for life-hacking masterclasses, planning meticulously how each hour of the day will contribute to a better version of himself. At first, it feels exciting. Leo's proud of his commitment. He's doing all the right things after all. But soon, cracks appear. After the initial thrill, that bounce of enthusiasm wanes. He wakes up, dreading yet another day, where his mood becomes a measurement tool for, am I happy enough yet? The more he focuses on chasing the feeling, the more he notices its absence. His journals fill with frustrated questions like, why am I not there yet? Where's that sense of bliss everyone else seems to find? The very goal he's fixated on seems to drift further with every effort to pin it down. Feeling demoralized, Leo spirals into a slump. Then, by a twist of fate, his company organizes a volunteer day at a local community shelter. Initially, Leo's not thrilled. It's a mandatory event, and he's behind on his self-improvement goals. But once he starts helping out, cooking, cleaning, serving meals, Leo realizes something surprising. For a few precious hours, he's not thinking about happiness at all. He's just fully present, engaged in being useful to people who need support. At the end of the day, Leo notices he feels lighter. He feels connected. He laughs with co-workers, shares stories with the people at the shelter, and experiences a sense of genuine warmth. Walking back to his car, he has a subtle but profound realization. In forgetting to chase happiness, he stumbled upon a pocket of genuine joy. It wasn't forced, it wasn't measured, it just emerged naturally out of meaning. And that, right there, is the paradox in action. If you're wondering how this paradox can be so powerful, let's look at a few key insights from psychology and philosophy. The hedonic treadmill. Researchers have found that when we gain something positive, like a raise, a new gadget, or even a sudden boost in lifestyle, we quickly adapt to it. What once felt exciting becomes our new normal. So if you're constantly chasing highs, you'll be forever stuck in a cycle of short-term pleasure followed by quick adaptation. Viktor Frankl's wisdom. In man's search for meaning, Frankl proposed that happiness cannot be pursued. It must ensue. In other words, happiness is a byproduct of living a life of purpose, connection, or self-transcendence. If we make happiness the end goal, we ironically miss out on the deeper experiences that actually create it. Longitudinal research, e.g., the Harvard Grant Study. Over decades, researchers tracked participants' lives and found that the single biggest predictor of long-term well-being was the quality of relationships. Those who found meaning in contributing to others and nurturing authentic connections were happier, more resilient. Those who chased personal satisfaction in isolation often ended up feeling empty. These insights converge on the same point. Happiness is like a shadow. When we turn our backs to the sun and chase that shadow, it keeps moving away. But when we walk toward the light of purpose, commitment to something bigger, and meaningful action, happiness follows us naturally. All right, let's break down the core lessons in simple terms. Chase purpose, not happiness. True fulfillment arises when you channel your energy into something meaningful, be it helping others, building deep relationships, or honing a skill you're passionate about. Focus on process over outcome. When you obsess over how happy you are at every moment, you set yourself up for disappointment. Instead, immerse yourself in activities that provide value or growth, trusting that positive emotions will follow in their own time. Cultivate meaningful connections. Whether it's friendships, family, or community service, genuine bonds offer a richer source of lasting well-being than any short-term high. Remember, happiness is a byproduct. As Viktor Frankl suggested, you don't run directly toward happiness, you live with purpose, and happiness joins you on the journey. Think of happiness like your shadow on a sunny day. You can't catch it by running after it, but you can invite it to walk with you when you head in a purposeful direction. Now, here's a question to ponder. In your own life, what is one area where you're forcing happiness? Maybe it's your job, your relationships, your health routines. How can you shift your approach from chasing that fleeting feeling to engaging in the deeper meaning behind it? If you're comfortable sharing, we'd love to hear your reflections. Drop a comment down below. Believe it or not, your perspective could spark someone else's aha moment. Let's build a community that grows and learns from each other. Thanks for joining us in this first episode of Paradox Stories. If you found value in exploring why we can't just grab happiness by the horns, do us a favor, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. We have a whole series of paradoxes coming your way that just might flip your thinking and transform your day-to-day life. Our next episode dives into another universal conundrum. Why the harder you try to fall asleep, the more awake you become. It's a nighttime paradox that might keep you up at night until you figure out the surprising solution. Stay tuned. This is Paradox Stories, where we untangle life's contradictions to help you live with greater clarity, purpose, and, yes, unexpected happiness. See you in the next one.